In this part of the training, we will see some general concepts of the purchase order system. First, you will find that in every screen there is something called admin group or branches. These are basically the different entities of the company. We have CM for certified refrigeration, RN for runs, and TM for tech mechanical. Then we have another concept that it is very important to understand, which is the types of purchase orders. And we have three types: the stock purchase orders, the work order purchase orders, and the other purchase orders. As their name implies, the stock POs are used to purchase stock material, stock parts. Then we have the work orders POs, which are used to link to a particular work order and to buy material, parts, services for a given work order. And finally, we have the other POs to purchase any other thing that is not linked to a work order nor a stock part. A PO has a few different statuses. The first one is new, and in this case, the PO will be in a draft mode, and you can modify it as much as you want. This is the moment when you create the PO and you add the items, the documents, and we will see about that a little bit later. Once you finish creating a PO or defining everything that you want, then you click a button to release it. And when you release it, the PO can be printed, will be sent to Corrigo, and will be sent to QuickBooks. When you send the PO to a customer, to the vendor, at that moment the vendor will send you the parts at some point, and you will receive them in the system. So the PO will move to a status of received. And this will be the status until you receive everything that you order in that PO. Once you receive everything from the PO, it will jump to completed. You can also cancel a PO, but the system will make sure that you only cancel it while the PO has no receipts. If you need to cancel a received PO, you will have to return everything, and then you can cancel it. Finally, to access the purchase order module, you have to go to https://app.teams.us. Now let's jump to the system. First, you have to go to the Teams website at app.teams.us. Once you're there, you will enter your login, your password, and the company name. In this case, let's enter CRM9. Click Login. Once you are logged in, select the Vendors option, and within that option, select the Purchase Orders sub-option. You will find a screen with all the purchase orders that you have access to. In this screen, you will find a filter that will help you find specific purchase orders. You start by selecting the administration group, which can be CRM, runs, or TechMech. You may have only one of these, or two, or the three. If you only have CRM, for instance, and you need access to any of the other ones, please contact us at support@teams.us, and we will enable the other branch for your system. You can filter by vendor, by work order number, by PO number, by PO type, and by PO status. You can also tell the system to just bring the ones that you have placed. Once you enter the filters, just click Get, and this will bring all the POs that you have pre-selected with the filters. To access one particular PO, just double-click this line or click on this link here. I'm going to open this one. And this is what you will find when you log into a purchase order. You will find the header with the PO number and the status of that PO. You will find the general information of the PO, including the entity, PO type, vendor, PO date, due date, work order number if related to a work order number, customer, the dropship to, and the warehouse. Here you will find the information of the address where the vendor should send the items of this PO. In the second section, you will find the details of this PO, which are the material, the parts, or the services that you are purchasing. And finally, you can attach as many documents as you want to a PO, and in this section, you will find these documents. At the bottom of the screen, you will find buttons that allow you to execute certain actions like printing a PDF or sending an email to the vendor or to the buyer, or to validate the PO when you're creating a PO to make sure that everything is fine. There are other buttons here as you create a new PO that we will explain in a minute. Now that we have learned the general concepts of the PO module and have seen and familiarized with the interface, let's see how we can create a PO. To create a PO, just click this button on the upper right corner that says Add PO. This will bring you to a blank PO screen. First, you select the admin group. If you only have one, that's the one that will be selected. You will also find that it will keep track of the last one selected in case you have access to more than one. In this case, I'm going to do a PO for CRM. Second, you click the PO type. And as learned before, we have three types of POs: work order related, stock parts, and other. If we want to purchase stock parts, well, we select the stock parts option. But if we want to create a PO for a particular work order, then we select the work order related type. Otherwise, we pick other. In this case, we're going to create the work order related type of PO. When you select this PO, you will see that a few fields appear: the work order number and the customer. They will be completed in a minute. Then you pick the vendor, and we're gonna pick Larson. You just entered first some letters of the vendor, like LAR in this case, and the system will bring all the vendors that contain LAR. All these vendors are synced with QuickBooks. You enter the PO date. By default is going to be the day that you are creating the PO. Then the due date, I'm going to pick 2 weeks ahead from now. And now, since this is a work order related PO, we're going to enter a PO number. I will enter a training PO number here, and I will pick 99000007. It will automatically load the customer of the PO. Pick the dropship to. I'm going to click warehouse. When you click warehouse, all the warehouses of this admin group will appear. You can select one. I'm going to pick CRM Madison, and the system will automatically load the address of this warehouse. And this will be the address where the vendor will send the items that you purchase. You can modify this address by clicking in this gray area, and you can add information like the attention to, let's say John Doe, and a phone number 555-366, and save. You can enter any notes that you want to keep in the work order, in the PO, or that you want to send to the vendor. And you can define which technician will be handling the parts that are being ordered for this work order related PO. In this case, I will leave it to none. And sometimes the customer has a PO. So this is the place where you can enter that number for the customer PO. Once you have completed the header, you can start adding items. Before I do that, check that the purchase order doesn't have any number. The instant I click the add for the first time, the system will assign it a PO number, and it's in the status of new. Remember, we saw the statuses already. We pick the items that can be purchased with the work order related PO. I'm going to pick materials, a description, part XYZ, the quantity, I'm going to pick 10, the price 100, and the system will calculate the amount. If you want to add more items, you click Save and New. If you only have one item or you finished enter items, just click Save to save this one. If you click Close, the information that you have entered will not be saved. So in this case, I'm going to add another item and see how in the background the one I just entered was created. I'm going to enter part 2, 5 of these at 125 and save. Now that we have added items to my PO, I can add a document like a quote, for instance. So for that, I click the Add Document, click File, enter a description, and from here, I would choose the document that I want to attach to this PO. In this case, I will not attach any document, so I'm going just to close. We can save as draft because we know that we are still missing some information, or we can click Save and Release. When I click Save and Release, the status will change to Release, and I can print the PDF and I can send it to my vendor. I can also do this from here, Save Draft and Save and Release. Or, since this is a number assigned to it and is already a document created in the system, I can go ahead and cancel it. In this case, I will click Save and Release. When I click that, I see this window coming up, and I can click Download PO or Email to the buyer. When I click Download PO, I receive the PDF in my computer, and I can open it and see the details of this PO. I can then attach this to an email and send it to my vendor, or I can email it to myself. And when I click here, basically the system will send this PDF to my email automatically. I will click OK, and the system will clear everything and will be ready to accept another PO. In this case, I'm going to just go back. And when I go back, the system remembers the filters that I had before, and it brings me all the POs that I had just filtered before. I'm going to look for that PO that I created, 990007. Get, I have it here. It was for Larson, work order related. It is released. And now I want to receive this PO. I click on Open It, and I tell the system I want to receive this PO. I see in these actions, the last option says Receive. If I want to cancel this PO, I can do it from here because it still doesn't have any receive. But in this case, I want to receive. When I click Receive, I am taken to a different screen for the PO received. There are no numbers. And the system will automatically complete the information and bring me all the parts or the items of this PO. I order 10, and there are 10 pending to be received. I will receive the 10. And it automatically calculates the price and the total. Of these 5, I will only receive 2. So it's going to be a partial receipt. And I'm going to click Save. I can add documents at this point as well. If I have any other documentation that pertains to the receipt, like a PCAP document or something like that, I can do it here. I'm going to save, and when I click Save, look how I have now a receipt number. The receipt number is the number of the PO plus REC-1. And when I receive a second one, it's going to be a -2. Also, see how from new we jumped to complete because we saved it. And we can save it as draft if we want to continue receiving, or save complete. I'm going to click save complete because I have received everything from this PO. This is what we received, and we can see that we're back in the purchase order. We had order 10 and received 10. We had order 5 of this item and now received 2. And what is the price and what is the amount. So you can keep track of what has been received. Since this is a partial receipt, it is still in the status received. And let's say that I want to return 2 of these 10 that I received. For that, I go back again to the actions, click return, and it will show for this PO the items that I have received, and I have the opportunity to enter the quantity that I want to return. If this is a warranty return, I can click check here. If not, I just leave it unmarked. I can enter any note, and when I'm done, I just click finish. Note how I still don't have a return number. When I click save, I have a return number, which is identified by the PO number, then RTN-1. And again, as in receipts, if I have more returns, then we will have the -2, etc. Now this return is ready, so it is marked as completed. I click Save Complete, and I am taken back to my PO. Note how I had received originally 10, then I returned 2, so my new receipt is 8. The status of the PO is received. So that's basically the cycle. You created a PO, you received the PO, you returned documents or items from a PO. If you wanted to cancel this PO, you would have to return everything, and then the option to cancel the PO will be presented to you by the system. At this point, you can just go back and you can change the filters and bring all the POs that you want to bring. So that's basically it. You have learned the main concepts of POs, the types of POs, what are the branches. You have learned to find POs by applying filters in this screen. And you have also learned how to add a PO, receive a PO, return a PO. If you have any question while you are working with the system, don't hesitate to contact us. Send an email to support@teams.us. Thank you very much.